The pros and cons of bleeding hemorrhoids. Okay, don't laugh. As bad as hemorrhoids are and as especially bad as bleeding hemorrhoids are, there are pros to them. If you're looking for the silver lining to this terrible cloud, you'll find it here. I am in no way suggesting, though, that you go out of your way to make yours bleed. That is not what this article is about. It is only to give you some hope that relief is here, especially if you suffer from the external kind. Keep reading to find out why there's some good in all this bad. I discovered this quite by accident. I used to suffer from stage 4 external hemorrhoids. In short, after a bowel movement, they would prolapse and stick out of my anal canal. Sitting was painful. Working was almost impossible. The pain was unbearable. The reason for this is because of what happens when you have a bowel movement when you have hemorrhoids. During a bowel movement, the body sends blood down into the anal canal. When this happens under normal conditions, it's not something that you will even notice. But when you have hemorrhoids, what happens is the blood causes the tissue to expand and swell because the tissue, due to the damage it has undergone, cannot handle this blood flow. That swelling that you feel, especially if you suffer from the external variety, is the blood that is trying to get out but can't. When you have finally reached the point where your hemorrhoids are so badly swollen, eventually what happens is that they simply break and the blood that has been trying to get out does. When this happens, you will notice that the swelling goes down and you feel a lot better. The pain, in many cases, completely goes away. Those are the pros to bleeding hemorrhoids. However, the cons make this something you don't want to go through. When they bleed, in many cases, the bleeding can be severe. In fact, it can be so severe that, if it happens often enough, it can cause anemia. That is a condition that you don't want to develop, especially since, in the long run, you're still going to have your hemorrhoids anyway. That is exactly what happened to me. My blood count went down to about 6. I was so anemic that the doctors thought that I had colon cancer. So I had to go in for a colonoscopy that could have been avoided had I realized that my condition was caused by the bleeding. I lived with this condition for over 10 years. I was so anemic that I lightheaded a good portion of the time. I thought it was my sinuses. It wasn't, it was from the constant bleeding. Finally, I managed to beat this condition, and you can read about how I did it in my signature. It's a short 10-page report called To Hell and Back that won't take you long to read. I think it will make a big difference in your life. Stop suffering the aggravation of hemorrhoids. Click below to order the H Miracle System from the official website now. It'll be the last hemorrhoids remedy you'll ever purchase.